CBS News has learned indirect talks between the U.S. and Iran have produced what's being described as unique proposals to address Iran's nuclear program. Sources say the two countries are discussing options that are economically beneficial for both. President Trump is still ramping up pressure on Iran, saying it needs to end its nuclear program or it's going to be, quote, unfortunate for them.
7 seconds.
We're going to make a deal, or we're going to get a deal one way or the other. I would think that would be enough time, 10, 15 days, pretty much maximum.
CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe is joining us now from the White House. Ed, we're going to get to Iran in just a moment, but we just got the new GDP report. It is well below what was expected. Any reaction from the White House yet?
There was, even 40 minutes before the official government release of the data, the president on Truth Social saying the Democrat shutdown cost the USA at least 2 points in GDP. That's why they are doing it in mini form again. No shutdowns. Also lower interest rates. Too late, Powell is the worst. A lot going on there. The report does indeed suggest that the record-long shutdown last fall may have contributed to slower economic growth. So President able there to level a political attack on Democrats, suggesting it's their fault, even though polling has shown in recent weeks and months in the aftermath of that shutdown that it's Republicans and the president taking it on the chin for allowing that impasse to occur. Of course, he's had longstanding concerns about the Federal Reserve and its use of interest rates and whether or not they should be lowered faster to help drive economic growth. And that'll continue to be a concern of his until his handpicked successor to Chairman Jerome Powell is eventually put in. And we'll go from there. He is meeting this morning, or let me put it this way. He is scheduled to meet this morning with a bipartisan group of governors who are in town for the annual National Governors Association meetings. We'll see if he says anything more there about the current state of the economy. And, of course, the shutdown, no end in sight there as the White House and Senate Democrats keep going back and forth on how to potentially tweak immigration policy.
All right, so Ed, let's go back to Iran and what has come out of the latest talks. And what are the options right now that the president is considering?
Well, as you guys suggested there, he is considering a range of military options, and there have been debates here, pretty strong ones, regarding the options that are available to him. The Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth laying out the military options, the Secretary of State essentially arguing the go, no-go possibilities, and apparently Vice President Vance is the one that's been pushing to keep pushing for diplomacy and avoid military action at all costs. We'll see ultimately where this ends up. But as you played there, the president suggesting that Iran now, at this point, has about 2 weeks, 14 days at the most, to signal whether it's serious about conversations and diplomacy or may face some kind of military response. The message that was sent overnight to the UN Security Council laying out to the world Iran's hope to continue substantive conversations is one thing. The reports from our Margaret Brennan and others that they have dangled the possibility of some kind of economic investment in the country is another signal of how seriously they're now taking these threats, and in essence playing to this administration's unique desire for economic opportunity through foreign policy, and yet we know that there is a push by the Israeli government, by others in the administration, to continue building up military options because of concerns with the development of Iran's ballistic missile program and concerns that the nuclear program could restart.
All right, Ed O'Keefe reporting from the White House as always. Ed, thank you very much. We'll check in with you a little bit later on those aliens.
Ooh. All right, let's bring in, though, CBS News contributor Masih Alinejad for more on this. So if the U.S. does strike Iran, how would that be received inside the country?
I know it sounds a little bit weird to many Western people, but every single person that I have been in touch with them, they're welcoming a targeted, calculated military action against Ali Khamenei. They call it Supreme Leader. We call him Killer. And the high-ranking member of Revolutionary Guards. And like when we talk about the 12 days war, the Israeli government only targeted the military leaders. And that doesn't show the people of Iran that there is a sign of regime change or supporting the demand of millions of Iranians. Because after the massacre of 40,000 people, now it's clear that these people want to end this regime. That's why people believe that this time the U.S. must target the political leaders.
So people that you're talking to, they don't just want to see a strike, for example, against ballistic capability or whatever nuclear capability is left, but rather regime change focused.
But the main reason that people are actually protesting against the regime is the clerical, corrupted religious dictatorship. But at the same time, we all know that people have been suffering for years and years. Workers haven't been paid their salaries. We suffer from lack of electricity, lack of water. They ruined the environment, everything. So where is the money? The money goes to build up the nuclear weapons. The money goes to the proxies. The money goes to Houthi, Hezbollah, and to Hamas. That's why, of course, last time I remember that people were worried, but nothing happened. A lot of people were warning, if they attack the nuclear site, it's going to be chaos. It was not. But the thing is, right now, people are frustrated. I'm talking to the family members. They're burying their children, their beloved one. They don't even call them like the Arab term of like martyr. They call them Javidnam, as one of the CBS presenter rightfully mentioned that, because they want to show their anger toward the Islamic ideology inside Iran. So any airstrike, any decision from the United States must be focused to help the people of Iran. That's the promise that we heard 8 times from President Trump.
So, Masih, let me ask you, what would regime change look like in Iran? I note that there are some people who have suggested that they could possibly be put into place, including the son of the former Shah of Iran. I don't know what the Pahlavi name what kind of weight it still carries in Iran, but the U.S. has not had a great track record when it comes to regime change, especially in the region. So what would it look like?
That's a problem. Because I believe that when it comes to the term regime change, unfortunately, many politicians are allergic to this term. Let's be allergic to dictators, to those who actually sending killers on U.S. soil. And I don't think anyone asked, including Pahlavi, asked the United States to do the regime change for us. This is the people of Iran. Those who name him, those who took to the streets. These are the people. Actually, after 2009, like 6 major uprisings took place in Iran, and that's the people of Iran. So regime change is nothing being imposed on us Iranians by Prime Minister Netanyahu or President Trump. It's the demand of millions of people. And I believe that this is the right moment. This is the Berlin Wall moment for us. So we are the East Germany. People are now... But they stormed into people's house and arresting those who are mourning, who are actually getting together to bury their children. This is a criminal regime. This is a terrorist regime.
So then, Masih, what does that... So in other words, you remove the Revolutionary Guard, you remove this bloody dictatorship that has killed millions of people, imprisoned millions more over the course since the revolution. There's a vacuum now. Who steps into that vacuum?
That's a good question. My simple question is that, how come the United Nations, the U.S. Officials meeting with our killers, with those who actually sent killers here, United States of America, to target U.S. citizens, including U.S. officials, but they're not willing to invite the oppositions. Yes, invite the opposition. Invite those that people in Iran, name them. See what is their plan to have a transition from dictatorship to democracy. What is the fear? What is the fear? I keep hearing people saying that, the biggest concern is who is going to replace the Islamic Republic. Really? 40,000 people have been killed by Ali Khamenei is not the biggest concern of the world? The regime that's sending assassins in Europe, more than 500. More than 500, repeated. These are not numbers or statistics. Non-Iranians, the regime's opponent being targeted, either kidnapped or assassinated beyond their own borders. This is called transnational repression. Believe me, helping the people of Iran to get rid of the regime, we, the people of Iran, can be better ally for the United States.
I'm so happy that you've joined us now as a CBS News contributor because of just what we've been able to talk about now, which was hard for us before because we didn't have a voice.
We are traumatized, and I'm very pleased that CBS giving voice to Iranian people, because it hurts me to see that the people whose hand is full of blood going everywhere and normalizing this regime and advocating about diplomacy. I'm like, really? The language of this regime to people is guns and bullets, military weapons. The time of diplomacy is over.
Masih Alinejad, we will see you soon.
Thank you so much, Masih.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.